What's up, man? It's been a while, but I got really busy, really busy. Life has some unexpected occurrences that really caused me to slip away from doing the things that I was passionate about, like this podcast or just any many other things that I was normally doing before the year started. But with all that aside, I want to welcome you to the next episode of your Spoken Truth podcast. So this episode is going to be a little different. See, normally I have a guest and they're the ones telling me their spoken truth and their life story. But today I thought I might do something differently. I thought I would do a solo episode and getting you guys to understand who the host of all this is. So today I just got a whole list of questions and I'm going to be answering these questions and opening up in a way to where you can hear my own personal spoken truth. So with all that being ado, I hope you guys are having a blessed day wherever you're listening to. I hope you guys enjoy and just take something out of this episode. So with that being said, the first question that I have today is, what has life taught me recently? Man, life has been lifing. I will tell you that. Lately, I've learned that life is a roller coaster. Life is never going to be stagnant or constant, if you will. See, just over the past 2 months ago, I went through something that was the most eventful time I've ever had, but also the most depressing time I ever went through. So I would say the biggest lesson I've learned recently from that situation is you gotta have trust in God to live through this life. You can't do anything without God. Because when I was in that situation and I felt like no one was there, even though there was people there trying to help me and just care for me and ask if I was okay, I still felt alone. So honestly, life has taught me to rely and depend on God without a shadow of a doubt and trusting Him with all my worries and all my insecurities. You know, life is a funny, life has a funny way of teaching us various lessons, and I learned the hard way, a more physical, painful way. But yeah, that's what life has taught me recently. And I wouldn't wish that on anybody, but I do believe that we all have to learn our lesson about life some way or another, you know? And moving on, there's this song that I don't normally play. I've only played it for like two people that's close to me, and that leads to the next question. What's a song that you play by yourself but never with other people? And that song is, I think it's called Rocketeer. I think that's what it's called. See, now this song is very special to me because it is how I want to tell my future wife how I feel about her, and whenever that day comes. Like, one of the lyrics is, "Stay with me, there's a world out there that we should explore," you know? And that's what I want to do with my future wife. I want to explore the world. I want to give her the world. And I want to do it with her by my side. And I don't play that song around other people. I don't. It's a popular song. Don't get me wrong, but me personally, I don't play it around other people unless I really rock with you, because that's how I take that song. You know what I mean? But yeah, and that also adds to just peace. Like, where do I feel the most at peace at? And honestly, I can, without a shadow of doubt, I can tell you, I feel the most peace at in my room with people that I love and trust, and with when I'm in the presence of the Lord. See, when I say in my room, that in the presence of the Lord, they go hand in hand. See, every time I'm in my room, I like to read the word or listen to music or just put something on, and I'm not disconnected from society, but I'm just in full presence of the Spirit. because I feel like my life has been very, very busy as of late because I'm graduating and there's a lot of things have occurred that's disrupted my peace, if I would say that. So when I'm in full presence of the Holy Spirit, I feel happy, I feel joyful, I feel gratitude, all the positive traits. That's what I feel. When I'm reading my Bible and I'm reading Psalms or Isaiah, which is what I've been reading lately, and I'm understanding what the Lord has been trying to tell me, or what David in his heart, how he pursued the Lord, that's when I feel most at peace. When I'm just in the presence of the Lord. Um, I don't really know how else to elaborate on that. It's just I feel well no, yeah, with people. I'm very secluded. I don't like opening up to many people. If I don't rock with you, I'll give you the most vague answer that you'll ever expect. And I do that not on purpose. It's just I don't really trust many people. I try to keep my circle very small. And is that a good or bad thing? I'm still trying to learn and figure that out. But when I'm with people that I can connect with and be myself with, I feel at peace. I feel like I can drop the facade that I carry sometimes when I'm interacting with other people. I can be just uplifting, positive, constantly smiling, not shy or quiet or not saying what's on my mind. So yeah, that would be my answer for that question. When I'm with people, when I'm in the presence of the Lord, that's when I feel at peace. And then the next question is, what do you think your past self would think of you now? Hmm. What would my past self think of me now? I feel like that little 8-year-old boy would be like, "That's a swole guy. That dude is that dude's something." Nah, all jokes aside, I feel like he would be bittersweet, happy and sad. He would be happy of the growth that he's seen and how he matured in not a rapid pace, but faster than expected. But he would be sad that he doesn't open up as anymore. He'd be sad that he's not constantly as happy as he once was, or not as shy, or as shy as he was not before. I feel like my past self would be looking at me like, "What are you doing, bro? Just tell them how you feel, express yourself." But there's this huge wall blocking me, and I just like, I can't do it, little bro. I can't do it. But yeah, it'd be bittersweet, very bittersweet. And I try to think of the positive things, like how much I've grown since being that little kid and entering college and getting ready to leave, and the growth I've experienced through college. But all that aside, I feel like just, yeah, it'll look bittersweet. I think that's my answer for it all. He'd be bittersweet. And knowing myself, he would look at the sad more than the happy. He'd overthink on that more than the happy parts. But it is what it is. Everything's a growing lesson, and we are all just constantly trying to improve and mature and learn more about ourselves. It's like that's another reason why I do this. One, to understand people and what they go through, but also to understand myself and why I don't like communicating, or learning more how to express how I feel about people, about certain things, and learning more about who I am as an individual. But the next question is, what is something you finally accepted? people love and like how they were taught. That's one thing. You know, I've seen a couple things throughout growing up and entertaining various things, and I can honestly tell you, if you weren't taught how to love or taught what it means to be in a loving relationship, you're not really going to know what it looks like when it slaps you in your face. And I'm not saying that for people I've interacted with. I'm more saying that about myself. And I was taught how to love. You know, my mom did a great job of teaching me how to love somebody and adding that foundation to Christ in my relationships and everyday life. But I don't know. I feel like how I operate and do things, that's something I'm learning to accept that I need to change. And now changing that towards other people I've interacted with, I've learned that you can't make somebody like you. You can't make someone love you or want to be around you, first off. And I don't really know if I'm rambling here, but that's something I've learned to accept. Is people love how they were taught, and you can't make anybody do anything. You know, I had a feeling where I thought I can control everything, and there's this weird need to control things and have everything resolve around the palm of my hands. But I've learned that I can't really do that. I can't control the next human being from making a choice or decision that they feel like is best for them, you know? And me trying to do that is wrong. But that's something I've learned to accept. But yeah, moving on to the next question. What is something you've been feeling that you've been too embarrassed to admit? Hmm. How I feel about certain people. You know, I feel like when I'm interacting in the space of these individuals, I shelter down and I don't express how I'm feeling towards them because I'm embarrassed of how it will be perceived, or that fear of rejection that is always a possibility. And I'm embarrassed to admit how much someone cares, how much I care for a person, and how much I enjoy being around them. More because I don't like expressing myself. I would rather do what's comfortable, and that's just being by myself, being isolated, and not being around people. But just deep down, I know that's not how I really feel. You know, how I feel when I'm around these certain individuals is like my heart is jumping for joy. My eyes light up, and I feel my happy. You feel me? But as I've said before, there's this brick wall, just this mountain of brick wall, just stopping me from telling these people how I feel. You know, and like I said, it's a work in progress, but we're trying, and we're trying to do the steps to grow from that. And yeah, that's something I feel too embarrassed to admit, which would be how I feel towards certain people and expressing that towards them as well. So the next question is something that I saw a friend of mine asked, and they asked, how do I deal with the extreme lows in life? So I have a story for this. Now I can't give full details, but it was February 1st. I entered something that I knew was wrong, I started participating in something I knew wasn't right. Um, but yeah, that night happened and I wanted to burn the entire world down. That's how much physical and mental pain I was in. I got back in my room one night and I told Lord I want him to burn it all down. I remember it because I was laying right here on the floor and I was in tears and I was just so low that I asked God to harm these individuals who placed harm on me. And how I dealt with that was walking away. Now, it wasn't instant. It took almost over a month to fully walk away and process it. But I had to walk away. How did I deal with that extreme low point? Was turning to God. Because every night, every day I was in that same vicinity with these people, my prayer was, Lord, protect me. My prayer was, help me get out of this room. Help me just be with me in this moment. So, and that's just one answer to this question. I have another one, but I would say how I dealt with that extreme low point in my life was relying fully on the Lord. And I never knew what it meant to rely on him when I was so low because I've been blessed to have an amazing life. So when that moment of sadness and pain finally into my life, and I felt like I didn't have anybody else, and I felt like I was just so low that I didn't even see a way up. And only prayer I could tell the Lord was, Lord, protect me. And he did. That's how I dealt with that extreme moment. That's how I ended up walking out of that. And another thing is who you hang around with, who I was around, my community. I have an amazing community of people surrounding me who care for me. And so when I felt so low, I relied on them. I talked to them. I was near them in their presence. Because when I didn't have the words to express how low I was, just being around them made my spirits high. So those are the two things: being with the Lord, relying on him, and being with your community, the community that you chose to be around. Now, I hope that your community that you pick is great and wonderful and they build you up and you build them up. But yeah, that's the community I had and I still have. And I haven't really told them this, but I thank them so much. Because when I can't express how I was feeling and they were just there, words can't explain how thankful I am for them. But yeah, that's how I deal with the extreme lows in life. But also understanding that things aren't instant. You can't expect that low moment to be gone the next day. I wanted that I wanted that feeling to be gone so bad. So bad. And when I tell you 30 days felt like 365, that's what it felt like. You can't I had to learn that good things and good moments will take time to be there. So what helped me get out that low moment was understanding that there was a good coming. There was something coming out of this low moment, and there was a lesson, and there was a moment that was going to happen. It finally did, and I'm still processing it. But though, if I could say, those were the three things that helped me get out that extreme low point in my life. And I'm gonna say it again: the Lord, people, and understanding that all things will come in time. But yeah, moving on to the next question. What is something I'm really passionate about, but I don't really tell people? I'm really passionate about filming. I love filming. I love pictures. I love making videos. I love making films and skits and just being able to enhance the creative side of me. Now, I have a story of how I became so passionate in filming. So I was just finished my freshman year, my first freshman semester of college. I entertained an individual that I knew I shouldn't have. And one thing led to another. One mistake led to another mistake. One lesson learned turned into another lesson. And I fell in a deep down pit of depression. And for 6 months, the only way I could express how I was feeling was through a film. So I would spend countless hours just filming this film to this one song that I was so heavy on that I learned that I was really enjoyed filming this. I really enjoyed looking at people and creating a story that was there that people don't really see. Because how what I feel, honestly, is that everybody has a story. It's just not expressed in the way that many people would like to see. And that's why I'm so passionate about filming. And I don't really tell people about it just because I can't answer that one. I ain't gonna lie to you, I really can't. But yeah, I'm really passionate about filming. I'm really passionate about creating a story off of a few items or a few words or just no words and just a whole picture connected to one song that fits the entire theme of the message I'm trying to get out. But yeah, filming is something I'm really passionate about. You know, I have this dream that I will have this film studio. I call it K3V. That's my film name, K3V Studios. And I can just see it now, just walking into the studio, seeing the amount of years and the amount of lessons and work that I put into the studio. And that's why I'm so passionate about filming. But yeah, I hope that answers that question. Moving on to the next question is, what's an apology that I never got to give somebody? Um, it's an apology I never got to give somebody. I never got to tell this person I was sorry for leading them on. See, I wasn't always as mature or as mentally sane as I am now. I didn't really know how to treat women, and when that attention started coming towards me after high school, I didn't handle it in the best way. I would take the attention, but I wouldn't dish anything out, and I would just entertain this individual for a while, and I never got to apologize for leading them on. And now I feel like they may not see it as a big deal, but I do because I know what I did was wrong. So I don't know if they'll ever see this, but I want to really apologize to you. Um, I can't make any excuses because I know what I was doing, but I want to apologize for leading you on. I want to apologize for entertaining you when I knew I shouldn't have. And I want to apologize for not being the right man that was needed for that situation. You know? Yeah, I mean, when I tell you, man, life has a funny way of teaching you things. It really does. And when I learned, when I didn't like how I was treated by someone and I did it to someone else, that ain't right, you know? That's one of the things that I could be like, I didn't need to do that. You know, I didn't need to entertain somebody and act like I was in such all of them when I really wasn't. Yeah, and that's an apology I would give. Sorry for leading you on. Yeah. The next question: describe the lowest moment in life and what did it teach you? I feel like I answered this. You know, I feel like answered that with previous three questions, but yeah, I feel like just again reiterating. I messed that word up, but those three things, relying on the Lord, that's what it taught me in those low moments. But I do have another moment. See, nothing really before this past year, nothing really bad happened to me. It was more disappointment. And I would take that disappointment and I would enhance it to a really low moment, you know? Like, for instance, let's say someone I really connected with dipped out from my life. That would in turn make me feel so low in that moment. And what it taught me was, what did it teach me? I get attached too quick sometimes, you know? I put all my marbles in one basket when not every basket deserves your marbles. Um, yeah, that's what it taught me. So besides everything I just said earlier, that's what those low moments taught me, was getting to know myself and my own insecurities and my own problems. Like, why did that disappointment hurt me so bad? Why did that person leaving disrupt my peace so much that I entered a low season in my life? Those are what those moments taught me. And moving on to another question is, what do I wish people could see in me? Break down every wall, break down every building. I wish they could see how much I care for people, how much I love people. That Kevin is a caring individual with high integrity. He's someone that you can talk to for hours and he won't judge you. He's someone that will express himself in a way that he won't stop or overthink what he's about to say because that's who he is. I wish people could see the core in me and not the exterior, because I feel like the core is where I have the love, the peace, the joy, the happiness, just all of that. And sometimes I feel like many people don't see it because I don't show it. I don't like showing it at all times because I don't know, I don't want to be rejected or perceived in a way, or open myself up to an individual and then have them just dip out and leave. And I opened up myself to for no reason, you know? But that's what I wish people could see in me. And that's why I feel like my greatest fear, I have two fears, is fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, and fear of not being a dad. So I'm gonna break these down one by one. The fear of rejection is I feel like if I express how I feel towards certain people, the common default answer will be like, no, I reject how you feel about me. So I just never express how I feel. And I feel like that rejection or that fear of rejection is a common thing with many people, many people. But yeah, I could, and I know this is wrong to say, but I could be in love with an individual or really enjoy their company, but I won't really tell them how I feel because I'm afraid of how they will respond. And yeah, that's something I'm working on as we speak, actually. I'm not gonna lie to you. Um, the second one is fear of being a dad. Of not being a dad, I'm sorry. I want to have kids so bad one day. I want to have a family of my own one day. And sometimes I feel like I overthink so much where I get this thought process that won't happen or that won't occur. I get this deep fear that I'll grow old and I'll be some 6-year-old who's not married or doesn't have kids or doesn't have his own generation to feed into. So sometimes that adds to my fear of just not having a family, not becoming a father. Because I really do want to be a father. I want to be a father that can teach them wisdom, teach them joy, be around them, and just, I don't know, it's just like words you can't really express that feeling. I want to give that to my kid. I want to give that to my wife. And sometimes I have a fear that that won't ever happen, you know? And the next fear was a fear of abandonment. See, I feel like that ties with rejection. I feel like if I open myself up to people, they'll leave anyway sometimes. And that's been my thought process for a while previously before I started getting out of it, was that if I open up to you, you're probably just going to dip out and leave. You know, if I express how I'm feeling, you're probably just going to hit the next door. So I had that fear of abandonment to where I would just not do anything. I would just be on my own. I'll be like, ah, you're here, but for how long, you know? But yeah, those are my three fears. Those are my three greatest fears. And then actually that leads me to the next question. What makes me feel love? What makes me feel love? Jesus Christ. Knowing who he is, knowing what his promises is, and he says in his word. Knowing what he's done throughout my entire life and how he sheltered me and blessed me so much. And when I felt alone, I really wasn't alone because he was always there. That's what makes me feel love, knowing that Matthew 28:20 is a verse that is true because I've seen it happen in my life. Yeah, like this what I was saying earlier, just Matthew 28:20. Knowing that I'm never really alone because Jesus was always there. He's always been there. That's what makes me feel love. Um, Also, I would say people I consider close with, that's what makes me feel loved as well. Knowing that I can be myself and express myself towards these people, that's what makes me feel true love. So yeah, that would be my answer to that question. Jesus Christ and people I consider close with. And I want to describe a time when I felt so free. It was just this past week. I went hiking, and when I tell you I felt so free, I felt so free. We were hiking this long ass 10-mile trail that really pissed me off at the end because I was tired. But when I tell you I felt so free, I felt so happy. I felt so joyful, so peaceful. You know, just looking at the trees and looking at God's creations and just how beautiful it was, and doing this trail and this hike with these people that I considered close or getting close with. I felt so free. Like there was this moment where it was this picture we took, and the picture was just like so beautiful because the way we were and the sunlight came in through the hands of our picture. The way our hand symbol was made in the sunlight and the trees in the behind it. I was just looking at it the other day. I'm just like, man, I felt so happy. I didn't have a care in the world. I was singing. I was singing songs and just being me without a care of who was listening or who was around me. I just felt so free. Um, yeah, I felt happy, joyful, gratitude, all those positive traits. That's what I was feeling in that moment. Going out and being with these people, I felt like me. I felt like that brick wall that I always had to keep up towards certain people. I felt like that wall wasn't there that day. I felt authentically Kevin. You know, that's what I felt. Um, man, just looking back on it, it makes me smile because that's how happy I was during that time. I was so free. Uh, and that leads me to my last question. See, I normally ask this question to my guests. And the question is, if you could remind everyone of just one thing, what would it be? And the one thing I want to remind you is Jesus loves you. It doesn't matter how much in pain, how sad, how depressed, the words you can't even express because you're in so much pain and depression that you are feeling. Jesus loves you. See, I've been a witness to it. I've been a witness to the love of Jesus Christ. You know, I've seen so much and I've learned so much that I don't ever want to turn from it. So that's the one thing I would remind every single one of you guys, that Jesus loves you. He will turn that pain that you are feeling, and he will turn it into something beautiful and mesmerizing. And I don't ever want you to forget that you are loved by somebody. And his name is Jesus Christ. And so I want to remind you guys to explore what a relationship with him looks like. Explore what true love looks like. Because I have. And like I said, I don't ever want to turn away from it. So yeah, that's the one thing I remind you guys of. And with that being said, that is the final question of Your Spoken Truth. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It's a little different than how I normally like, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Got to learn a few things about me. And I hope you guys are having a great, wonderful day, wonderful night, wherever you're watching, whenever you're watching. And happy Easter, by the way, whenever this comes out. But yeah, much love. Adios.